Hey there. With the NBA season set to kick off tonight, I wanted to take some time to do a little bit of a recap on the bigger moves that took place in this offseason. First and foremost, one of the bigger ones was seeing Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and DeAndre Jordan all heading to the Nets. Now, this isn't like with the last time the Nets were showcased in an offseason acquisition when they got an aging Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce from the Celtics for a bunch of draft picks. This will be different. They're getting Kyrie Irving, who's a noted scorer in this league, DeAndre Jordan, who can rebound with the best of them and still a solid defender, and Kevin Durant, who is coming into this season with an Achilles injury. The Nets haven't officially ruled him out during the season, but it's more than likely that he will not play this year. That being said, it'll be interesting to see how this team performs once they get a healthy Kevin Durant with Kyrie Irving and DeAndre Jordan. Anthony Davis, he got his wish. He's out of New Orleans. He is in LA. He's playing with LeBron James. It's a big move for them, sure. Everybody's pegging them as the team that could win the Western Conference and could win the NBA championship. Vegas is going nuts, saying that most of the bettors are picking the Lakers to win this year's championship. I don't see it. The way I see it is you have two players. You have LeBron James, who is 35 years old and is not as good as he used to be. Still a great player, not as good as he used to be. And Anthony Davis. You don't know how those two are going to be able to play together. And last I checked, you need more than two guys to field the team. They have Kyle Kuzma, who's talented, but then they have aging stars like Rajon Rondo, and they brought back Dwight Howard because it was great when he was with the Lakers the first time around. So the second time is going to be that much better. They tried to make their roster better by signing DeMarcus Cousins, but then he tore his ACL, so he won't be available this year. Boston's moving on from the Kyrie Irving experiment, and they were able to bring in Kemba Walker with that transition. So they lose a little with Irving, they get all that right back with Kemba. So that move doesn't hurt them. Kawhi Leonard teaming up with Paul George and going to LA as well, but going to the Clippers. It's a move that I definitely didn't see coming. I didn't think that Leonard was going to A, go to the Clippers, and I didn't think that B, Paul George is going to follow him there. That team has definitely put themselves right in this forefront of a strong team that could come out of the Western Conference. There's a lot of talented teams in the West, and the Clippers are not one of them. And speaking of another talented Western Conference team, Russell Westbrook joining James Harden with the Rockets and trying to see if those two coming back together can do something to help the Rockets finally win a championship. They've been there many times in years past with just Harden-led teams. Maybe bringing on another superstar like Westbrook, who isn't aged like Chris Paul was, will help them out. Maybe they'll finally get over this hump that they've been battling, which was the Warriors, who, let's face it, they're not going to be a factor this year. They're missing Kevin Durant, obviously, and they lost out on Klay Thompson for this year. He tore his ACL. He's probably not going to play. Dwayne Wade finally retired from the NBA, and Jimmy Butler got traded to take his place. He'd have some talented pieces. Jimmy Butler is a great player. I guess we'll just see during the season how that all meshes together. D'Angelo Russell got traded away from the Nets to make all this room to bring in Durant and Irving. Russell got sent to the Warriors, so they get some makeup for losing Klay Thompson this year. They have an accomplished scorer in D'Angelo Russell, so they're not going to go away by any means, but I still don't think that team has enough to really do anything this year. Once they get healthy, they're the Warriors. They're going to be talented and tough to beat, like always. Lastly, I want to give a little nod to Oklahoma City Thunder. They're a team that is stockpiling draft picks right now after their trades of Jeremy Grant, Russell Westbrook, and Paul George. They have acquired 8 first-round draft picks covering the next 7 years with trading those 3 players. Over those same stretch of 7 years, they will have 15 first-round draft picks, including their own. That's a lot of picks. That's a team that is in a rebuild, but they're going to rebuild quickly, and they're going to be fun to watch once they make all their picks and see what that team looks like. After all that, things have shaken up in the NBA pretty drastically in this offseason. Teams in the Western Conference that are a clear favorite to make the playoffs and possibly even win the championship, in my opinion, are the Denver Nuggets, the Utah Jazz, Houston Rockets, Portland Trail Blazers, and the LA Clippers. Like I mentioned with the Clippers, there with the additions of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they put themselves right in this conversation. Teams like the Jazz and the Nuggets had been able to build their team with draft picks and not huge signings, but signings that have helped their team drastically. The Houston Rockets with James Harden and Westbrook coming back together to see if those two can figure out how to play together and if they're able to finally get to a championship round, have some constant success in the playoffs, and maybe win a championship in a year that the Warriors aren't expected to do much with their injuries. And the Trailblazers, you can't look past McCollum and Lillard. Both of those guys are probably one of the best tandem duo scoring guards out there right now. And then they added Hassan Whiteside from the Heat. So that's just going to drastically improve their team in rebounding and defensively with their blocks. And he'll add some cheap, quick points to the right in front of the basket as well. But he's there for defense and to block shots, and he's going to be successful there. My clear favorite is the Rockets. How close they've been over the last couple of years, and now adding a scoring superstar in Westbrook, I think they have the strongest chance in that conference to make it to the championship and even win. The Eastern Conference is a little less difficult to see who might emerge as the top team. The Boston Celtics are a team that comes to mind rather quickly. Even without the services of Irving and Horford, they added Kemba Walker, and they still have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, along with Gordon Hayward, who I didn't mention earlier. Hayward is 2 years removed from being one of the top scorers in the league out of Utah. So without Kyrie Irving there, maybe they're able to move the ball a bit better among those four and turn themselves into a playoff team that they thought they were going to get with Irving. The Indiana Pacers aren't a team that most would consider, but they had a really hot start last year before Victor Oladipo went down to injury. He's back, he's healthy now, so I feel this year they're going to be a strong candidate in that Eastern Conference that is looking for its new upper echelon team. The clear favorite is the Milwaukee Bucks. They have, last time I checked, they have Giannis Antetokounmpo, and he is the best player in this league. And hard to believe he's still going to get better. He's still going to improve on that outside shot. He's still going to gallop his way down the floor and beat you on a fast break and dunk when he's standing at the three-point line is what it seems like. He's too good. He's too good to defend, and it's hard to overlook that team right now. The Raptors aren't a team that strikes fear into the hearts of their opponents anymore with the departure of Kawhi Leonard. They won it last year. That's great for them. They finally did it. We are the North. This year is not the year. And then that leaves me with the process and the 76ers, a team that something always seems to happen to them. They think like they're finally over this hump, and they think they finally made the strides that they need to make to be this complete playoff team that has the best chance of winning a championship with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, and then when they brought in Jimmy Butler and a couple other complementary pieces. Well, Butler's gone. Simmons is showcasing a new three-point shot. Maybe they have enough, to do it this year. I don't know. We'll just have to watch and see. I still think that the Bucks are a clear favorite, with Boston adding their own set of superstars to kind of chase them down and see who comes out top of the Eastern Conference. So there's a recap of this crazy offseason we've experienced, as well as a small amount of information of who these top teams of the two conferences are, in my opinion. I'm excited, as I'm sure the rest of you are, to see what this season has in store for us. I will post a video many months down the line when the playoff teams are set and give my predictions then on who I think will win. Until then, I'm Kevin Householder.